Today is the 14th of June, right in the middle of the year, and in 7 days time we're going to have the longest day. I'm going to do a bit of pruning on this tree. This is really a garden tree that I've been training as a bonsai. I purchased it from someone's garden years and years ago, maybe about 15 years ago, and I put it in this big pot, and every year it grows about 2 feet. And I keep trimming it back to give it the bonsai shape. The reason why I'm going to prune it, because yesterday, Saturday, I had a customer who wants to buy this tree. I won't tell you how much he wants to pay for it. And I'm now going to prune it to make it more like a bonsai. So how do I do that? I will just use a pair of secateurs and prune. That's all I need. That's all I need, nothing more. What I will also do is to maybe look at some of the thicker branches if it needs it, but I don't think so. It's really the thin branches. So you'll be surprised what I can achieve just by using the pruners. And aside from talking, I could probably prune this tree in 15 minutes. With a tree like this, what goes through my mind? By now you must know what I tried to achieve. I tried to achieve a nice conical shape for the tree. But to achieve a conical shape is easier said than done because it's got like 2 mounds on it. So let's remove some of the thinner branches so that we can see the trunk. The secret of all bonsai pruning is to show the trunk. Unless the trunk is visible, it doesn't really look like a bonsai. So thinning the trunk is the secret to creating bonsai shapes. So, and because this dissectum, or all the dissectums, have this weeping habit, the weeping branches tend to cloud the trunk. See, look at the branches I'm taking off. And also, I've always said, where you don't get light, you get a lot of dead branches. Look at all the dead branches in there. The dead branches not because the tree is not healthy, the dead branches are there because it's not getting light. As simple as that. So, still removing dead branches. Many people wonder whether you should be pruning maples in summer. I'm a great believer in summer pruning because if you prune in summer, even quite thick branches, the tree heals very quickly. Any cuts made in the summer heal quickly. So let me carry on. The weeping habit is both a help and a hindrance. The weeping branches always tends to clutter the trunk, but also it gives it a very graceful feeling and a graceful look. So you can now just about see the lovely trunk. And this is obviously the front of the tree. Some things are obvious, sometimes they're not. The more I look on the inside, the more dead twigs there are. Again, it's not because the tree is not healthy, it's just that it's not getting light. So if we now have an overall view from the front, we will see how the shape is coming. Remember that maples are meant to be very delicate looking trees, and if it is very dense and very congested and heavy looking, the refinement and the delicacy of the maple is lost. So I'm trying to create a balance between getting the tree to be very delicate and yet retaining enough foliage. Okay, now if we stand back and see the overall shape. Overall shape is very important. Every time you've got to keep looking at the overall shape. Keep looking at the overall shape. Don't lose sight of the overall shape. Now this is clouding a bit, so I'll take a good one. So during the year, you will have to keep an eye on the branches because they grow very, very rapidly. And of course, this particular customer of mine, I visit his home once a month and I keep an eye on all his bonsai, so I'll have to keep an eye on this tree as well. In case you did not know, I have a lot of customers who use my maintenance services. So I don't just sell trees, I maintain their trees as well. Not all customers do that, but this particular customer uses my services for that. I always get a bit annoyed when people buy a tree and think they don't have to maintain it or look after it. I think the analogy of a car is always useful. If you buy a good car, not necessarily an expensive car, and you don't service it, the car will go downhill or will not work properly. Same with a bonsai. You have to maintain it. And this is where many people don't appreciate that fact. So it's just generally thinning. And this again, those of you who are hairdressers will appreciate what I'm doing. I think I've mentioned before that one of my friends is a very good hairdresser. And he tells me that what I do is exactly what he does when he does hairdressing, ladies hairdressing. You don't just hack the ends, you actually thin the branches and layer it. It is layering. You see how I'm layering it. You see how much lighter it has become. I've barely worked 10 minutes. Look at the debris on the ground. Look at the debris. All that has been taken off in just about 10 minutes. And I think this is still a bit too dense for my lighting. The beauty of maples is that they are deciduous trees and they do grow very rapidly, so don't despair. If you were to make a mistake in pruning, it will grow again. And I think that is all I need to do to this tree. It's a pretty big tree. So some of these need to be pruned as well to get a better triangular shape. So you see how there's a dome there and there's another dome here. And that is light enough. There is some rotting here. I hope it won't be too much more. And the top is also rotted a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. I'll just reduce it. I'm not going to cut it too close. I'm just going to leave a little stub, because if you cut it too close, it may cause the apex to die. So I'm just going to leave about 1/4 inch from the junction, just for safety's sake. Not many people appreciate what I do, but there's a reason for doing it, and from experience I find that if you go too close to a node or junction, it may cause dieback for Herons. I'm going to just seal it. I know it's a dead branch, it's not losing moisture, but stopping it from losing moisture in the summer is important. Even in the spring is quite important. So I just put these little bits of cut paste, but I haven't taken any thick branches at all, and I think that is all I need to do. So the tree is looking quite light. Now you may have noticed that it has a very ugly root at the base. Now roots are a very funny thing. Some people like roots like that, and other people don't like roots like that. But because to me it looks ugly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a piece of rock there and make it look as if it's growing on a rock. So let us try a bit of jiggery pokery and put a rock in here, and then it'll give the impression that this maple is actually growing on a rock. Always hard to get the right sort of rock. I don't know whether he liked that, but you get the idea. You know, it's that sort of thing you want to put in there. I may try some other rocks to see if it works. So that is the sort of idea I want to create to hide that ugly root. As I say, it may not be this rock, but this is what might work. Something like that, perhaps. So that takes away the attention from the ugly root. So that's the tree done. I think I barely worked 10 minutes. If I didn't talk so much, I would have done it in 3 minutes. There you go.